Denver area. Denver area. High school shooting suspect was radicalized. Radicalized officials say the suspect shooter was critically wounded two students, by the way, two students, Evergreen High School in Colorado during their third week of classes this semester appears to have been, by the way, radicalized by some extreme network officials, said Thursday. Says that. By the way, the suspect, a student at the school, took the school bus that morning and brought with him a significant amount of ammunition. Ammunition, said Jacki Kelley, public information officer for the Jefferson County, a sheriff's office, by the way. And he roamed the campus searching for new targets as he shot out windows and lockers covering a huge area of the school, she said. And he would fire, by the way. He would fire. He would fire and reload. Fire and reload, fire and reload. And Kelly said, this went on and on. This went on and on. And but the suspect, identified on Thursday as 16 years old, Desmond Holly, and was thwarted, by the way, by locked classroom doors and preventing further tragedy. And Kelly says that again. Over 100, by the way, over 100 enforcement officers swarmed the scene after authorities arrived within 2 minutes of the first 911 call, reporting gunfire about halfway through the school day. And We're in contact, by the way, with the shooter. The shooter within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes only, as more than 900 students remained on lockdown while officers cleared each room. And the police, by the way, said some of the students ran, and while others huddled in classrooms together during lockdown, according to Kelly. And in the end, by the way, Holly was taken to the hospital with a self-inflicted gunshot wound and later dead. And officials said, for most students, by the way, their day ended waiting at a nearby reunification center for their loved ones, as the high school, by the way, tucked away in the mountains of Evergreen, became a series of crime scenes both inside and outside of the school. And law enforcement, by the way, has warrants obtained warrants for the suspect's phone, home, and locker room, and said Colley. Investigators, by the way, are also working to interview many of the students who witnessed what happened, to piece together and how the school became the site of the 47 shooting that took place at a school in the United States so far this year, 24 of which were on college campuses and 23 on K-12 school grounds. The tragedy, by the way, took place less than an hour after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot, by the way, at an event at Utah Valley University. And Colorado, by the way, is a state known for several devastating shootings since the 1999 massacre at Columbine High School from Aurora, and where 12 people, by the way, were killed at a movie theater in 2012 to an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs, where 5 were fatally, by the way, shot, and the mass shooting at King Supers in Boulder, and which killed 10 people. And 2 students, by the way, are in critical condition at nearby hospitals, and their families, by the way, plan to release photos and statements soon, said Curry. And the high school, by the way, the high school is served by part-time and school resource officers who are Jefferson County. Jefferson County, by the way, sheriff's deputies, while it's a full-time school, by the way, resource officer is on medical leave. And Kelly says that a school, by the way, resource officer wasn't at the school at the time of the shooting. And as the deputy left, by the way, campus around 10:30 a.m. time, 10:30 a.m. time on Wednesday to respond to a traffic incident, Kelly said again, the search warrants, by the way, for the suspect's phone and home have revealed early indications, and he had been, by the way, radicalized radicalized by some extreme network. And they said Kelly adding more details would likely be released by the way at a later time. And it's not yet by the way clear if the shooting was entirely targeted or random, but Kelly noted it could be a bit of both. And she wasn't able, by the way, to provide any information about how the suspect obtained the handgun or who owned it. And the grandfather, by the way, of twin brothers attending 10th grade at the school and were not injured in the shooting, said he was in shock after learning his family was touched by gun violence for the second time by the way within 5 years. Mike Webb was ex-wife. Dan was one of 8 people, by the way, killed in the 2021 Atlanta area spa shootings. And they say, by the way, the boy's father texted him that an active shooter, by the way, was at the school, but the brothers were safe. And one of the boys, by the way, was in the main hallway when the shooting broke out, and he just ran. And Webb said the other boy was outside the music room, and he ran too. But he ran into police who had weapons drawn. And one of the shooting victims was identified as 18 years old, and Matthew Silverstone, whose family released a statement through the sheriff's office on Thursday, saying they appreciate the community's concern and support. But as we remain, by the way, focused on our loved ones' recovery, we respectfully, by the way, request privacy as we continue to heal and navigate the road ahead. And the statement, by the way, continued. The Bureau, by the way, of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the FBI are assisting with processing crime scenes at the school, which is located roughly 28 miles and southwest from Denver. This is the scariest, by the way. This is the scariest thing you could ever think that could happen. And these parents were really frightened. And so we're the kids. And they said, Collie, by the way, and I know we always say not again. And here we are, Colorado Governor Jared Boris, by the way, said his administration is offering to help in the days ahead to get children and families the resources needed to cope with this triple act of violence. This kind, this kind of violence, by the way, has absolutely no place in Colorado or anywhere, especially our schools and where kids should feel safe to learn and grow. And the police said, by the way, no family should ever fear for their child's life as they send them to school. And Senator Michael, by the way, Senator Michael Bennett said that he was horrified by the shooting and thanked law enforcement officers for their swift response. And our children, by the way, our children deserve to grow up in a country free from the trauma and terror of senseless gun violence. And he said Thursday. And the news, by the way, of an active shooter at the school was Webb's greatest fear realized. And he said he worried every day. About his grandson's school being the next target of a shooting, but felt reassured, by the way, reassured by its tight, knit community. And I thought, at least, by the way, they are up in the mountains, and it's unlikely anything like this would happen. And sure enough, it did. And he says that. And Webb, by the way, said he spoke with one of the brothers who was clearly checking up and told him he understands what they will be dealing with in the aftermath of the shooting. And I told him, by the way, none of us should have to go through this. And this Webb, I said, this is the world we live in, and thank God you guys are okay. Thank you so much. Have a nice time and great day. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Thank you.